Hey, there we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Sorry, my thing broke for a little bit. All right, this is gonna be our Cap and Kyle inaugural show. We're trying to come up with a better name, but for right now, it's the Cap and Kyle show. We're gonna be doing a breakdown of the Starladder I-League Invitational Season 5. Optic just won it. If you guys were watching, we're gonna go over a recap of the entire tournament, talking not just about some hardcore analysis out of Kyle, but we're also gonna be doing some memes. No replay analysis. We're probably going to be doing that sometime in the future, but to quote Kyle, these games suck ass, so we won't be doing any replays. But that'll be a future thing that we do. That.
God. Well, so,
what's up, Kyle?
What's up, man? I'm chilling. I just got my notebook. I'm ready to rock. Thought it was a pretty entertaining event from a viewer's perspective. I think there's a lot of
perspective. I feel like you're gonna come in here with a lot of flame towards these teams.
No, not at all. What? You put words in my mouth, man. We just got the show started. We were still in the introduction phase of all this. I mean, I haven't even done my research yet. Optic won, right? Jesus. With CCNC, too. That's crazy.
All right.
33 guys got to be really... I'm just kidding. I love you.
That 33 guy has some big, broad shoulders. That's for sure.
Indeed.
We're real quickly just going to go over and go over just the breakdown of the tournament real quickly. That'll give you time to do your real quick replay analysis that I'm sure you're trying to put together right now. As you guys could see, we had the two different groups, Group A and Group B, which Group A was pretty underwhelming. I didn't think there was any real surprises out of Group A whatsoever. It was just Optic and VGJ Thunder taking top spot.
I'd argue this tournament was just as predictable as the GESC Indonesia, where you could pretty much guess who'd be in the finals. I'd say you would probably put Fnatic as a toss-up to get there, but then they made some questionable decisions that we will talk about later.
Yeah, the Group B was definitely a little bit more interesting just because I felt like there was 3 teams that could have actually gotten that top spot. I mean, actually, going back to Group A, what's wrong with Kinguin?
I mean, they can't pick Medusa anymore, so that's been hurting them. And I think that they're just kind of behind the meta. They pick a lot of the same heroes, even though they fail to have success with them. And it appears, from my perspective, that they really don't have that many draft concepts. They're picking a lot of, like, they're just the same shit over and over. And we saw how that worked out for VGJ just now in the finals. I feel like you need different templates if you're going to succeed at like an international level, and they're reusing openers and even late pick cores. You know, like they're putting this guy, like they don't get their Furians anymore, they don't get Omni Knight, and Medusa's no longer really meta. So I mean, what have they really won with in the past, right?
Right. So it seems like Kigwitch just they had their brief little shining moment in the sun where they looked kind of like a good team, and then they're just out in the cold now. Gonna have to figure something else out. Group B, we did have Na'Vi and Fnatic. That was probably the most interesting group simply because of the fact that those two went the distance 2 times in a row. Both of their series went to a game 3, and both of them Fnatic won. Did you watch both of those series, Kyle?
In their group? No. I didn't care.
Well, GG. Then I guess we're not talking about that one.
only care main stage.
In which case, this is the moment where you're going to shine then, because we've got the playoffs where VGJ Thunder ended up squaring up against Vega Squadron, who topped out Group B, and Optic, who topped out Group A, went up against Fnatic. And it was actually the Optic Fnatic game that made a little bit more interesting just because it went to a game 3. Meanwhile, VGJ Thunder just kind of stomped over Vega Squadron pretty convincingly.
Oh. I will say just a quick comment on the Game 3 draft in Fnatic Na'Vi. I forgot I had a note on that. Na'Vi's draft was goddamn terrible.
Which series?
It was awful.
The first series or the second one?
The one to get out of the second series.
Okay.
They picked Witch Doctor, Venge, Slardar, Puck, PA. All right, that was their draft. 4 single target heroes and a Puck. No, like, wave clear. No minions. They can't do ancients. Like, their whole draft is focused on the idea that they're going to just, like, get Roche and, like, this PA is going to kill everyone. And, I mean, Fnatic was able to beat it. So, I mean, that should tell you all about, like, that's just, like, I don't.
Whoa. Fnatic
God, you need
did
an award for
push a
something
game
this bad.
3 against Optic. Come on now.
Mm,
And Optic did end up going on to win the tournament, so
I guess. But the game is so drafting oriented right now. I just don't understand. Like, do you see the heroes on Fnatic's lineup? You see how there's like synergy, how they can buy all these items that make their team fight and pushing potential stronger.
I see minus armor and physical damage on Navi's lineup. That's synergy.
Yeah. All right, no comment.
It's a very one-dimensional
I'm not letting
idea
him get
of
away with
strategy,
that one,
but
Cap.
all right, fair enough. Then we went into the playoffs where Fnatic did push Game 3 against Optic. They had that opening game with the Pangolier. It's the biggest thing that stood out to me, and they had the Terrorblade Templar Assassin. I mean, I think they just literally just won the lanes, and the game was over.
I think that was the only game they had the stronger draft as well. They had I like their draft a lot. I've seen TA Terrorblade as a core combination a couple of times, and it always seems to be nice. And you have an immediate Naga song, like same frame application of a stun. If Pang goes rolling on top of them, it's just a really cool synergy. There's a clip of Envy getting one shot trying to push high ground with the 30k advantage, though. I enjoyed that.
What is it with Fnatic and their obsession with Naga Siren? It seems like most other teams are not really picking that hero.
I mean, I felt like Mineski did really well against LGD, but that was because they figured out that LGD was relying on Ame and Maybe to just buy BKB and win them the game. And Optic specifically doesn't really utilize that strategy in the same way. They lean on other heroes that don't, like in the game, the second game they had a PL. In the third game they had like a coddle draft with Jarolina, and you can't just net them through BKB and then win a fight. It's more team oriented, whereas LGD just plays around their 1 and their 2 like the entire game.
Right.
And I feel like they might have interpreted that as Naga being strong versus Mineski understanding like, hey, Naga is a good matchup against this team and the templates they like to use.
On the other side, VGJ Thunder just kind of whomped Vega Squadron, who, looked kind of good just because of the groups. I know a lot of the analysts at Starladder really liked Vega Squadron, thought they looked pretty good, and then they just immediately get 2-0'd by VGJ Thunder. And I don't know, it looked like just garbage. It just looked like VGJ Thunder was the much better team.
Yep.
Combination of draft and just outplay.
Pretty much. I think that it goes back to like that first game. Vega's still first 2ing tree, and that's just not something that's gonna win you games consistently. And they also gave Sylar last pick Lycan. Woof.
And then we had the finals. Obviously, you guys just watched that one, 3-1. The only game that VGJ Thunder did manage to win was that first one, which went a full 60 minutes, and they just had better late game. They had picked a Darkseer, which was surprising to me. I guess it felt like it kind of matched Underlord in the sustain concept against this Venomancer SF.
I mean, that was a really weird game, to be fair. I had a big issue with CCNC's item choice in that game. And to note, that is also the only game that CCNC was on the hero with the win condition, and that was the one they lost. And the other 3 wins that they had following up, you had 3-3 on the Visage and then the Brood, and then the last game there was Pycat on the PL. And I think that that's very telling for the success of Optic, is that they tend to do best when either 3-3 or Pi. I would argue more 3-3, but Pycat's also impressed when he's playing certain carries and he gets a game. Like he knows how to finish.
All right, so I was going to have Sam come on for this. We're going to talk about heroes after this, but Sam just told me he has an emergency team meeting. I don't know what kind of emergency team meeting could possibly happen when they're not at a tournament. But do you got Sunbee's contact?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Hit me up with Sunbee's contact on Skype, and we can bring him in.
Cool. You should maybe the team meeting is about like what the team needs. Like maybe they just need.
You think they really need a 5-position real American captain?
Yeah, maybe that. Now that you put it like that, Cap, maybe they do.
They saw Optic's success and they were like, "Damn, Peter Pan Dam, a real American leader, managed to take a minor. That's what's been missing for us, guys.
I mean, you're saying it. I guess we'll have to see, right?
Jesus Christ. All right,
You think? Yeah, I sent it to you. Do you think it's telling that Optic, the only American team yet to make a roster change in this cycle, is now finding success? Do you think that stability and friendship and working together through trials and tribulations has strengthened them over time?
This sounds like some attempt at flame for...
What do you mean? That was just a
complexity.
question. No. Who's that?
I would like to remind you that Optic did make a roster change at the beginning of the season.
No. Misery left. Very different.
Okay, it was still a roster change. Things still ended up changing for them. And they also had to switch 33 into a core position, which obviously we've seen from that grand final is absolutely necessary.
That's true. I mean, 3-3 is just legit. And I think that it's perfect for this patch because he's really just playing these HOD heroes and his micro is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Easily the best brood, and I think his brood build specifically is part of the reason it's winning. I mean, we saw Matumba Man go first item Battle Fury. He could have bought with that gold just Helm of the Dominator Pipe, and it seems to be the way to go because it makes your hero absurd.
All right, hold up. I'm going to pull Sunby in real quick. Do you have anything else to say about the finals, those final 3 games? I mean, it just seemed like Optic had them kind of outdrafted all the way.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's another point to bring up later is like, why does China keep getting cheesed?
What's up, Sunby?
Hi.
Do you have a webcam? Yeah, I mean, if you want to be on camera.
I mean, I'm a mess, but
that's
sure.
fine.
I mean, Kyle's just rocking a blanket right now, so I'm sure you're okay.
Yeah, at least you're employed. It doesn't matter if you look unemployed, all right?
Hero.
Hey, Capsula has the stream on Liquipedia, though, but, you know, it's fine.
Well, I'm just waiting for Sunby to get his webcam going.
Oh, how do I get that shit going?
I don't know. I'm looking at...
here we go.
Pepe the
Here
frog
we
right
go.
now. Oh, perfect.
There we go. What's up, baby? You look cute as fuck, dude. Don't be flaming yourself.
Thank you.
You two are adorable. All right, next up on my list, I've got Heroes of the Tournament. What are you laughing at?
You're all fucked up right now, Cap.
I know.
We need a producer desperately.
If anybody wants to come and be a producer and work for free, that would be fantastic.
Nah, it's not working.
I am going to fix it. You guys are going to talk about the heroes.
I mean, sure. Well, here's a good talking point for you, Sunby. What's the deal with ultimates that are about as good at level 6 as they are at level 18? What are your thoughts on this? Why does Sunder do the same thing at level 6 as it does at level 25? Can you explain that to me? Why does Terrorize on Dark Willow last for 4 seconds? Why does Dark Rift teleport everyone on your team all the time?
I would only answer this question if you say that in a Seinfeld question. What's the deal with these ultimates? Please.
I can't do that. I'm sorry.
All right.
The viewers at home wouldn't like that.
All right.
I'm actually looking at it, though. It's literally 1 second less teleport delay, 10 seconds less cooldown on Underlord's ult. And there's no actual counter mechanism. You can't silence it. You literally can't do shit. And it functions through all methods of save. So even if a guy is like aggressively astraled to the ethereal plane, like they're literally just fucked, you're still going home with your boy. What are your thoughts?
That's a good fucking ultimate. We should pick that hero more.
Right?
Added the fact that he's able to just do Roshan for pretty much for free.
I mean, I like things being powerful. I want other things to be more powerful too, so that like, I don't know, Dota's fun when it's broken and broken well. I think Dark Willow shit is kind of fucked up, but Pillord, I don't know, Pillared. I think it's that Pillar's ultimate is not like a team fight ultimate in a way. So you feel it less being powerful, whereas like shit like Sunder and Dark Willow ulti, you feel it. You feel it to your skin and bones when you're team fighting, and this ultimate hits, and you're like, and that's kind of annoying.
Yeah. I would this would go into like my next point about like Lion and how I think Lion will be more picked even though VGJ is losing with it because Hex is now an uncounterable mechanic. And that's what I feel about certain things like Underlord where you have I feel like the hero would still be good if you, as an example, removed his Q doing damage to Roche, which just seems like overkill because there's no other spell in the game that really functions like that, and it just gives this hero with this great kit just like even more utility. That's what I think jumps it from like second phase hero to first phase hero. Same with Dark Willow and even Sunder to an extent where I don't see why they shouldn't scale more linearly versus just a cooldown or mana cost change. Like why does Thunder cost 0 mana when it's maxed out, and why is it 25% minimum health swap at every level? I think Capit said it was changed to that like TI4, TI3 era.
683. I have no idea when that patch
683. Yeah. So why isn't it just like 45, 35, 25? And this goes into like another subject about these 2-week patches, which I'm all for, but it doesn't really feel like it's It doesn't really feel like it's changing the game as much. It's like making these core changes to like the meat of Dota, not actually balancing the game. It's just kind of throwing everything into disorder. And it makes it really hard to like grow because the game's just drastically different.
Well, in that case, let's talk about the patches because we had the 2 patches in this tournament. This is the first 2-patch tournament that we've had since this entire nonsense of the 2-week change. And we had 713 and 713B. And the big changes that happened for 713 was the fact that pushing got nerfed simply because the bounty on buildings was reduced significantly, and it became a little bit harder to push as well with melee Rax's HP going up, shrines getting more HP, all that sort of shenanigans. And then the other big change was the fact that we took out this the status resistance for most of these heroes naturally, and instead just gave strength heroes a bunch of magic resistance and took that away from these intelligence heroes.
I mean, I have an opinion about the frequency of patches and how much, how different the game is per patch. I respect that they're trying to experiment and find what is good for Dota. I just dislike that, because initially when they introduced the idea of like this 2 weeks patch thing, they said it very carefully. It's like, oh, hey guys, we're just trying something new here. We might not stick with this, but instead of changing the game like drastically every few months, we'll just do a little bit of things every 2 weeks. And what it has been so far is like every 2 weeks, just game is like, it's actually big fucking changes. Bounty runes not having XP, like, you know, every tournament that we went to, we had like either had to deal with like some core mechanic being changed or a new hero being introduced. And in a way, I think it's kind of like a bad, it's bad professionalism in a way to complain about patches because our lives are to play the fucking game and, you know, abuse what's broken and, you know, figure out solve the game is what our job title is really. And it affects us all kind of equally, the patch effects, but it kind of doesn't in the way that this DPC being very new and Team Secret being a team that goes to a lot of tournaments, we don't really have the time to practice like new heroes. So we go to a tournament, the hero just releases, and we're like, all right, we have 0 experience with that because we've not had the time to really play these pubs. And I don't know, like I hope I don't really like things being changed so rapidly all the time. I just hope that it slows the hell down sometime before TI, so we can at least prepare for a tournament for once.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, every team's going to have their own characteristics, right? And I think it's unfair to say that, oh, like, you know, everybody gets the same patch, therefore it should affect everyone equally, because you look at a team like, say, Meneski at DAC, I think there's no question that they were helped out by the fact that they had a patch come in, just before that with
They
Dark
got
Willow,
a
and then they
new
got
hero.
Pangolier. Yeah, they got Pangolier. So they
how
had
do you-
two
how-
heroes that no
a
one
new-
else was really using that much, and Mineski, they were able to take their group stage pretty early as a result.
I mean, it's a tournament like mid patch, or sorry, a patch mid tournament. Wow. And that, I don't know if I'd have an issue with it. I feel like the notes at the very least should be coming out a bit earlier, but I don't feel like I feel like there's going to be testing happening until like the moment of the patch. But even if Techies is going to come out, they need to like let the scene know at least a week or two in advance, right? Just so you have time. It's like a gotcha thing now where it's like, aha, there's a new hero. Hope you're ready to play it. Can't wait for the games tomorrow. And somebody wrote a blog on this, and I agreed with pretty much everything he wrote. And it kind of detracts from the competitive integrity of the sport when you essentially change the rules. Like, imagine if in the middle of the playoffs they just said, "Hey, you know what? There's a 4-point line now," and they just move the 3-point line up and then draw this new line like by midcourt and say, "Hey, that's actually worth 5 points." And then the next day they say you can't dunk.
Okay, but are we good to say, is it just the timing of these patches? Is the fact that they're on Thursdays and the tournaments are usually either already ongoing or going to be starting the very next morning? Or is it like, are you just down for like the bigger patches of the older eras? Like, what if these patches were every 2 weeks, but they were on Mondays, right? So tomorrow, Epicenter's done. A patch is going to come out Monday.
Mondays
You've got a
would
few
be
days
great.
to prepare.
Yes, I agree. That actually might change. That's a great fucking idea, Austin.
I'm not the first person to suggest it.
It doesn't really matter in the sense that like there's like 2 tournaments a month, either be it on Thursday or Monday. I feel like there will be a tournament during that time.
No, that's not Mondays though. There's like, I don't think there's any tournament on a Monday except for some huge major. Because they always have the finals on the weekend. So maybe group stage starts like Tuesday. It's more that Thursday is guaranteed going to be in the middle of the tournament and most likely right before the finals. That's my concern with it. I just think it's like Thursday's patch day. I don't know. I honestly just don't care because now I'm just talent, right? And I'm all about these mid-tournament patches. I think we should have patches mid-game. I'd love to see a game, Secret versus Liquid, Game 3, and all of a sudden, like, Roche is replaced with like a giant rabbit, because it's Easter. And instead of an Aegis, he just gives, I don't know, power-ups or some shit.
Oh, chocolate egg instead of an Aegis,
Yeah, exactly. And it gives you triple damage for the whole game.
So Sunby, can I ask, is your team prepared for techies? Because the pattern has been so far that a hero's come out every, I think, 4 weeks. So we've had like a patch that comes in, kind of regular patch, not a big deal, and then they drop a hero, then a regular patch, then a hero. Are you guys prepared for techies if it comes out in 2 weeks' time?
I don't know. I mean, I guess we talk about it. We're like, hey, there might be. So, start playing it. It's just no. It's at least we have some time. So like I have no room for excuses if it pops out and then we get crushed by it or we can't use it or whatever. Like we don't have answers to it, whatever. Then we don't have an excuse. It's just I don't like it when we don't have time to prepare because like there's I would say 3 to 4 teams that experience what we're going through as well. So it would be VP, Liquid. I would say Newbie too to a degree because Newbie definitely goes to a shit ton of tournaments, and then Secret. So all 4 of us like have a different approach. I feel like VP just been playing the same shit they've been playing since like Poland, and they're boss and they're good. So it works until it doesn't work, which I guess was the last DAC in a way, where Mineski came with some fresh shit that works in the patch, and it was good. And I guess Liquid is somewhere in between like new and the old because Miracle took some time off from Dream League. He went home to Jordan and played a shit ton of Furion. Comes to DAC, plays Furion. All right, cool. We're confused as shit. We don't know what's going on. We got pangoed by like Mineski and like there's all these. We don't know what's going on, man. We're like oh shit. It's like been on the road for like 2 months, 3 months. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know what Newbie's doing. I think Newbie's just doing the same shit too, but their own. I don't know. They're maybe just as confused as we are in some ways.
I would argue that. more confused, but I'm a little biased in that regard because I watched them like I don't want to talk about it. I think you guys, as you said, I think fatigue is probably a lot to do with it, and I can understand. I mean, this kind of leads into like another topic of just like I don't think you guys are slow to adapt as much as like you don't really have the time yet. But why do you think the Chinese teams, specifically Newbie, and honestly even VG Thunder at this point, are still essentially playing the same game they were playing 3 months ago? They're not utilizing things that are broken.
And this isn't the first time it's happened either, right? And we've had entire TI seasons that have been based around certain heroes being very strong, Huskar, Broodmother, these kind of heroes that I guess would be considered cheese in Dota. And China has never really adapted to that, and they continue to not really adapt when it comes to the changing meta, especially with these newer patches. I mean, what's going on? Is they just stale? Like what I've heard from Jack is that they just play against each other and they don't really seem to experiment or adapt a whole lot. They have an idea about Dota and it's sort of concrete within their culture, and therefore they're not really going to go outside of that a whole lot.
I think that is partially true. I do think they're like I wouldn't say they lack creativity per se, but like I do feel like whenever, for example, whenever like a Southeast Asian Chinese ever join a Chinese team, I feel like they have all that discipline and all that strength of a Chinese team, but then they add in that little bit of that C flavor, and it makes that team pretty special. And I think that's happened with LGD, with Xnova joining that team. That has happened in the past with any team that Ice has been part of. It's I think happened a little bit with the not Malaysian, sorry, Singaporean Miracle joining the, sorry, I forgot which team, but they were doing pretty good for a while. So maybe there is some of that like rigidness to Chinese Dota. Chinese Dota teams in general, I think, they always deliver a certain level of excellence. They're always pretty freaking strong. Like I think DAC, like Chinese teams are pretty damn strong. They really were. It's just that like when they're weak as a whole like unit, and then when they're strong, I think they're strong as a unit too.
I think that shows just with the DPC rankings. They're 5 through 8 right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Chinese teams are strong, man. I can never, and I think their culture is really interesting. Their coach culture is very different from that of like the Western culture, where the coaches demand a lot of respect. At least from what I understand, they demand a lot of respect from their players. There's a mutual respect that's very different. Like it's almost like top to bottom instead of equal. And the coaches draft for the team, and that's like really cool.
I've heard even that some of the coaches make more than the players, just because organization-wise, they just view the coaches as being so important, and they lay that kind of responsibility on them, drafting and such. That,
and I think that's a great thing, Cap. I think that's exactly how it should be.
Really? So, see, if you were still part of Complexity, and Complexity decided that they were just going to hire somebody else, they were going to hire Sunby here
whoa,
to coach Complexity, and he was just going to take over for you.
I'm saying that
you'd be fine with that.
I'm open to all opportunities, and I'm saying if people want to pay coaches oodles of money, I'll be there to accept that if someone's willing. I'm going to do consulting, I think.
So you're okay with it as long as it benefits you. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. That's my attitude towards most things in life. Let's jump into a new topic here. Sunby, this is for you. What the hell's Fnatic doing?
I don't know. What are they doing? I mean,
you have no idea what they're doing? Can I quote you on
that? All right. I obviously don't know what's going on internally with that team. It's none of my business. I do have an opinion. It's not like it's it's an opinion.
Okay, can we start with the simple question real quickly, which is, does anybody here believe their bullshit about integrating the coach into the team, and this is just a temporary measure? Does anybody believe that? Because I don't.
I think they're trying stuff out to see what, like, yeah, they're just looking for that feel good. I think so much about Dota roster is about feel good. You have that one feel good moment with a player, and it just sticks, and you're like, you know what? Let's keep with this guy.
It's sort of like, would you say it's like they have an open relationship with Pylai Dai? Like it's like a marriage. It doesn't have that spark anymore, so they want to look over new options new mistresses, and of course Pi will be there if they want to go home to him. But in the meantime, test the waters elsewhere. See if you can find that new flavor, as you put it so recently.
Yeah, maybe. Like it's I mean, that would be my guess.
Do you think what they need is maybe they need like a strong voice, someone from a culture or a country?
All right, Kyle, you gotta stop
independence.
this. You gotta stop this show is not meant for you to try and sell yourself as a coach or captain or consultant or otherwise. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, I think so. Like, yeah, sure. Some liberty,
Exactly, some freedom. I think that maybe that's what Fnatic needs is more freedom.
Weren't you all about? Weren't you just on the whole hype train of like, hey, rosters shouldn't really be changing and everything. You built this integrity and trust, and that's what makes you a great team by the end of the year. And now all of a sudden, you're down with them just cheating on Pylai Die.
I'm down with them doing pretty much anything to Pylai Die, if it benefits me.
Oh,
sorry, Johan, you're still the homie, but it's just the way the world is. It's not the way we want it to be, but that's just how it is.
Okay, then I guess that leads into, because surely you both have an opinion on Adam and whether or not, I mean, he just had this infamous interview that said he is better and DJ's better when it comes to laning phase, but I'm better at roaming than DJ. Given everything that I've seen before, nothing says that about Adam being better than DJ at the 4 position, roaming or otherwise.
I mean, I feel, somebody's talking about feel, right? I don't understand, no matter what. Like, first off, if you don't have enough time to get the team in a position where everyone's comfortable with like their drafts and their roles, then you shouldn't be making a change in the first place right before a LAN. And second, I don't even know if you can like blame Adam, because the dude hasn't been playing Dota. Now he's on 4. DJ's on 5. I thought the whole point was that Fnatic needed a captain and someone to shot call, because Lord knows it's impossible as a core. And it just blows my mind. Wasn't Pylai Die on that team secret when they won a major? They were. He was, right? How many times has Envy kicked Pylai Die from his Dota team?
I don't know, man. Apparently, the guy's really good to play with. People keep going back to him.
Let me text the guys in the newsroom. They'll do the research.
Apparently,
on this.
he's really good at. He's got quite the forgiving nature. I mean, surely, so many times you get kicked, you go into this now open relationship, as Kyle is calling it. Like, eventually, doesn't the wife just leave? And she's just like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm moving on.
Pi might like the abuse. I don't know. We don't know.
Man, this is rough, guys. Don't beat up on the guy. I personally, this is going to my follow-up, which is just, has any team actually improved after making a roster shuffle in this season? In your opinion, in anyone's opinion?
Optic, I guess.
Kyle
agree.
doesn't consider Optic simply because Misery left.
Yeah, it wasn't. I meant like a team or a team-initiated roster change. Somebody leaving doesn't count.
I mean, it's like
this is a softball. Even Twitch chat knows the answer.
Yeah, no, hold on. Like EG is pretty good, right? And like Misery on his own left the team to join EG. Like, doesn't that count? They're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
they're a strong team.
I got it. VP, Virtus Pro.
Oh,
kicking Lil.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. VP, absolutely. Yeah, they're.
Yeah, sure.
No, I forgot about them. I would like to forget about those people existing if I could. They're too terrifying. All right, they're like mythical creatures of like great terror. I would just rather not think about them. They're terrifying.
And they just got a whole lot scarier when they picked up Roger and then went on to win Katowice immediately.
Yeah. Dude, those guys are nuts, man. They like don't give a fuck. They just kind of do whatever before the day of the tournament, and they just go play and they crush. They're mesmerized. They're really crazy. I guess they're Russians.
Speaking of Optic, then I can't really think of anybody else who's made a strong roster change, but we did say Optic, Misery left. They picked up 33. I mean, that guy just won them the finals. That guy just won them Starladder. He did so much. Even Arteezy tweeted earlier that his vote for MVP was 33. Guy's crazy.
He's good. He's very good. I don't know what else to say. He's just and he's got that like that ice flavor, that like that weirdness to an offlaner, that think outside of the box kind of shit. So it's hard to expect what may come from him, but it's gonna be good, and like you gotta be prepared. Otherwise, you'll let him have the game. He's a good player. He's very threatening, and all the others like people, they all enable each other quite well, that team. So, and PPD is a very confident person, and I was wondering, like, because Optic had been having it rough for a bit since its creation, and at some point I was like, man, like all that struggle's gotta get to him somehow. And I remember talking to him one night in Poland, and nope, his confidence is pristine. He does not care. He knows he's good, and he knows he will chase that success, and he'll get it somehow, and it shows. Like, so it's good. That's a good team, man. It's a very threatening team. There's so many good teams now. I'm so scared as shit. I wish they were weaker.
Sorry, that was FNG actually who tweeted 33 MVP.
I mean, he definitely was, I would say. I think it's just, they just have an identity. That's the thing. I think right now the teams that have identities that understand like what every player wants to do in the game and then draft for that purpose are the ones that look the best. I think that's also part of the reason the top Western teams kind of shift. I mean, now VP's obviously been on top for some time, but like Secret, Liquid, VP, whoever seems most on top of their own game is going to be the strongest one at the event. And that's how it's felt, like even going all the way back to Dream League, where it felt like Secret had a step on everybody. VP after adding Roger, and they have the confidence, and they just pick these heroes. They just win games. And obviously VP lost to DAC, but from talking to them, like they really gave very few fucks at that event, and they're still arguably the best team there in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they're very high skill. They're just so ridiculously high skill.
Right. Do we change segments here, Cap, to go to one of the later items on our list?
Yeah, sure. You guys, we talk about the tweets from the event. I'm presuming that's what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So we had Mad tweeting about Reddit, which is a classic for Mad. Of course, you're no stranger to that. Either Swindles. Mad tweeted out, Reddit sharing aggressively their opinion on players and what teams should do actually makes me lose faith in humankind every time I'm dumb enough to check it out. The amount of stupidity that is shown on a daily basis is unreal. And that's just the first part. The second part, do yourself and the world a favor. And every time you feel like sharing your 11K team dynamic or gameplay raging comments, bang your head against the wall until the will to do so is gone. I'll be forever grateful. Thank me later.
And then we've got Bulba, the voice of reason.
Oh, yes. Bulba followed that up with, when something is popular, people are always going to make comments about it regardless, just like when fans watch a sports game and flame the athletes. I think a bigger issue is when people that can influence the community reading those comments and making judgment calls off of it, ignore it. I guess Sam's talking about casters, because I'm not sure who else he'd be talking about when it comes to people influencing the community.
Yep. And this is...
Yeah, sorry. I mean, you would rather have people that care and talk shit rather than no one caring, then the scene's dead. So, I don't know. Seems kind of a pointless.
Yeah, and I think it's just, the thing is, fucking Matt, he wants what I want, right? You want a scene with professionalism that has a focus on high-level analysis and move away from the memes and the drama that Reddit wants. And Reddit are a bunch of animals in some ways, and they want these little bits, and you don't want to feed them because it'll just make it worse, right? And at this show, we take things a little more seriously because we try and preserve our dignity, right? And this leads us actually into our next segment, which I've been looking forward to this entire show. We're going to give out the first inaugural Jackie Lamau Award. And Sunby, you and the community are going to help us decide who's the victor after this LAN event. we have some candidates.
That's right. We do have, I believe, let's see, 3 different candidates for the Jackie Lamau Award. One of which is going to be Jackie himself for kicking Pylai Die or whatever just happened, and then in turn kicking Adam almost immediately after Adam tweeting just this morning after they lost, won't be playing anymore. Don't worry, guys. That is number 1. Number 2 being Adam here, saying in an interview that he's better than DJ at rowing, despite not the best 4-position performance, and DJ being one of the best in the world. And number 3 is going to be the Pycat Chronosphere, seen in all its glory, a 3-man Chronosphere on only allies.
Oh, let's see this. Ooh. All right. I'll chime in. I mean, they all kind of like there's an argument to make for each one of them. Okay, E's just trying to do what's best for his team. Either you agree with it or not. That's just like an opinion. Adam might be a better roamer than DJ, or in the sense that Adam might have a better a vision for the game, like a vision, like he might have a better grasp of like where to be in the game, but maybe like DJ's just better at position 4, like the role itself, which I think just goes more than just roaming, in my opinion, like button pressing and knowing when to farm, all that shit. That chrono is really unfortunate, but that happens. I would nominate the number 1 because it's the funniest shit ever still.
All right, well, you guys can give your opinion as well. Just hit up Kyle here on Twitter at Melons Dota with 2 Z's. He's about to put out a poll.
I'm making a straw poll. It's easier. I can't type out my options long enough on Twitter.
All right.
Yo, hold up
though.
Straw
poll for you.
I wanted to share this tweet.
Oh, we also have a oh, okay, there you go. In chat.
Have you guys seen this tweet? Hold on, let me link it, man. It's a good tweet. It's I'll link it on Twitter. I'll link it on the Skype. I find this tweet to be very funny, and not in a mean way, but like funny. Because, well, go ahead.
All right.
I was just gonna say, everything is a circle, right, Sunby?
Yeah. No, it's just like it's a mad tweet, 7 mad tweet, and I don't want to read it out loud. Yeah, you can.
I can read it for you. This is a kind of cycle. If the hero is good, then its counterpicks will be good, and as well as the heroes that fit well with them, and then the counterpicks of these heroes will be good. So everything moves. I never believed in a quote-unquote meta.
See, this part fucks me up because like he just explained what meta is. I get that it's not his first language. Like, I mean, it isn't mine either. Obviously, he's not as proficient, I guess. But it's just funny as shit, man. I could literally have that same quote and just remove the never part, and it would be a good quote. I don't know. It's just funny, man, with all the backdrop and shit. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I had a nice little chuckle this morning when I saw it. I get what he's trying to say, but it's just funny.
Man, I'm trying to think about what fictional character from a popular fantasy novel or movie we could make 7 men. I'm not really sure. The only one that I figured out, so obviously talked about this at DAC. Jamel is Samwise Gamgee, and Arteezy is Frodo. And I realized also, conducting this poll, like who Eternal Envy is in the Star Wars universe.
Star Wars.
And it's Jar Jar Binks.
Oh,
and do you know why? Do you know why? There's an alternate theory, right? That originally Jar Jar Binks was the big bad, even worse than Palpatine. He was the biggest, baddest Sith Lord of them all. All right? You look where at the start of controversy, where's Jar Jar Binks? Waving his hand making bad shit go down. All right, he's the one that turned Anakin on to Padme. The kid's like 8 years old. He's like, damn, check her out. He destroys democracy and puts Palpatine in power. You don't realize it because it was never revealed to you because he pussied out in the opening of the show, or the movie, and he's like, oh shit, everyone hates this character, it's not going to work. But god damn it, Eternal Envy is Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, and all his clumsiness is
Real
supposed to actually be him
Exactly.
using the Force,
It's all to
etc.,
distract.
etc. Yeah. I've read this theory as well.
Dismantling the galactic Dota 2 scene, putting himself in power with no one left to challenge him.
Wait, I'm a fictional character that's not anime?
Oh my god!
You can't do that, Tommy. You took it too far.
Okay.
Oh my god, that was a spot-on impression. Holy shit.
Thank you. I've been working on it for years.
Oh, Sunby, you're gonna have to be a regular on this thing now. That was too good to give up.
That's not Sunby. This is a professional show. We are making real content with real discussion about real plays.
With
Okay?
really terrible analogies the whole entire time.
Dude,
Thank
are
you,
you
Kyle.
kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is fucking gold, all right? I stand by that. And honestly, it just like how many times is this guy gonna trick poor Anakin? Poor Pili died, all right? The guy who's supposed to save the Force and yet constantly finds himself just on the side of evil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Let me try this.
Or Pi, Adam's gonna play this tournament. Is that okay with you?
Somebody, it's not okay to do that. I'm pretty sure that's not okay, all right?
It's all in good fun.
Now,
I'm not so sure about that. I do not look.
For the record, I admire the guy a lot. Like his I've like in terms of like his achievements and whatnot. Like, don't get me wrong. It's I guess it's kind of in poor taste. Maybe I'll stop. But still, I mean, I've known the guy for quite some time, since like Dota 1 days. I guess I was never really close, so maybe it's just not so cool.
I thought it was great.
I think it's great.
All right.
Thanks.
I just want to make sure that when Envy watches this show, he's not mad at me, okay? Because Envy, this is really a sign of my respect for you. Because let's be real, being one of the most powerful Sith Lords, if not the most powerful, is something that I think anyone would be happy to hang their hat on.
Come on. He can't hate on he cannot hate on another weeb. Although, yep, no way.
All right, I think we're coming to a close on the Kyle tries to whore himself out to as many teams as possible show. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Kyle just making sure to let Eternal Envy know, Jackie, if you want DJ to play that 4 position, you've got a 5 ready to go at any time. Kyle, you never told me this was going to be your entire reason for doing the show. Nothing to do with content or jokes or analysis. Everything to do with Kyle selling himself out. Sudby, thank you for coming on. You guys have anything else you want to talk about for the tournament?
That's it.
All right.
Dude, I have all these notes.
Yeah, great. Was that Tesla?
Yeah, it's a Tesla notebook.
All right.
Nerf Dark Willow. Thank you.
Agreed.
All right,
Just
Sudby.
make the iteration scale.
Thanks for coming on, Kyle. We'll do this again. Maybe we'll do it for Epicenter.
Wait, we have to sell out real quick.
Yeah.
If anyone watching wants to provide us with their services for free, namely in the video editing, artwork, or production departments,
We need a Jackie
help
Lamau
us.
video. We need something to cut to when it comes to the Jackie Lamau Awards. That would be
indeed.
be
And
very
also,
helpful.
I had a trophy too. It's going to be 1 box of Morton salt. So I'm going to make sure to present that to him the next time that I see him. Maybe Sunby should do it.
We also are going to be starting a YouTube. I think we already started a YouTube. We'll put this up. So it's not going to be on mine. Kyle and I are going to be doing more content together. So we'll tweet that out.
So cute.
We don't get
Thanks,
shut down
Sandy.
after this one. God damn.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.